Jordan Crawford, founder at Blueprint GTM, with us here today. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us. And he's going to talk about firing your SDRs. So I'll just share your screen, Jordan, and I'll be back in 10 minutes for the questions.
All right, great. So my name is Jordan Crawford, and this is the hottest of hot takes for me. So fire your SDRs. So I run a company called Blueprint. We help companies do scaled go-to-market. So basically, we answer this question of, can you scale your SDR team without scaling the worst of messaging? And people think about this as a choice between either you send one-to-one emails about the college that someone went to and you have your SDRs like writing those emails, or you send a bunch of bad emails at scale. I did also represent the US in the World Junior Badminton Championships. Do not ask me how it went. We got crushed. Even the best badminton players on the US team just got destroyed. So your SDRs are making buying worse. The SDRs are doing too much. We're throwing bodies at this problem. It's a super complex problem, and teams need to invest more time and money to understand the problem, iterate, and improve. You cannot improve a process that you cannot control. And this is absolutely important. And so some stats here, 77% of B2B buyers state their latest purchase was very complex or difficult. And that's because they have to have a conversation with 50 different reps, and those reps are all telling them you got to buy now. And those reps are incentivized to sell the customer, not to find the best fit for the customer, not to provide the best experience. And that's a problem. And your sales representatives have about 5% of a customer's time during a buyer cycle, right? So they don't even have a lot of influence, right? And 95%, this is a lean data poll, 95% of people polled said the ability to deliver a consistent and seamless customer experience across the entire customer lifecycle, pre and post sale, is emerging as a key competitive differentiator. That means that a vector of disruption for your company is your sales process. And to give you a perfect example, companies like G2 are coming for your reps, right? They provide a different type of buying experience. A company like testbox.com allows you to test a bunch of products at once and see what that experience is like without ever having to chat for a rep. One of their key differentiators is saying that buying process is broken. And it gets worse over time. So this is I just came across this randomly in a post from SaaStr, and they said, wow, when you're at $500,000 in ARR and you get a 4x multiple on your sales, and as time goes on, that multiple gets worse. So you hire SDR managers and you hire VP of sales, and you just keep throwing bodies at the problem, and it becomes less efficient over time, which is not the direction that you want. And we can have both scale and quality. And so this is great data with structure, and it's quality outreach at scale. So we need to be buying better and deriving better data. So there's a great tool called clay.com where you can run programmatic Google searches on your ICP, on the domains in your entire total addressable market. I'm doing this right now. I'm looking at impact reports and then scanning those impact reports to say, tell me about how this company thinks about diversity, equity, and inclusion and how they're doing on their goals. And I can even use AI to go read through those things and give me an introduction sentence about the problem. And this is the type of testing that we need to be doing. We need to be testing systematically without reps. And it's a real challenge with a rep because you don't know which part of the system is broken. Am I targeting the wrong companies? Am I targeting the wrong channels? Am I targeting the wrong titles? Is my timing wrong? And what is the approach like? And without a system in place, there's no way that you can disentangle the learnings from the SDRs. And what's even worse is your best SDR just gets promoted to an AE. So the person that figures it out, you don't usually take those learnings. You say, great, you've done a great job for the business. You know what? I'm going to fire you from that role. And so we need to train reps to understand the market, and they should only be taking inbound leads. This is really important. So if you can build programmatic systems to run outbound, to run demand generation, then the reps can focus on understanding what is the key value that the company provides and who should they be disqualifying. Super important. Go ask your reps today. If a lead comes to you, what makes them not a good fit? And if they say something like, well, they don't have enough money to give me right now, then you know that there is a problem. And I mentioned this earlier, Testbox and G2 are coming for your awful buying process. It's a vector of disruption. Your bad sales process and your reps that aren't trained to understand your market, understand your customers are disruption here. So how do you fix this? We'll use the gas process. So I'm going to just tell you about a process that I use. So give away value for free, approach programmatically with value, and then schedule meetings with customers where the value that they experienced was great. So a perfect example of this is I'm monitoring mid-market companies for who's hiring. I take that data for a specific set of jobs, SDR jobs. I make it free on LinkedIn. I say, if you're looking for an SDR job, request access to the sheet. And then what I do is I take the best responses, people write in their whole life story in the request to the sheet, and I automate sending that to the hiring manager. I said, yo, SDR manager, it looks like you're hiring. I have 50 candidates that are totally free for you. Here's the top 3. Here's who they are. Here's their LinkedIn. Bye. Right? If I was a recruiting agency, I can automate that all day long. And I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying here's what Blueprint does. Here's like who we are. I'm talking about that customer and their problems, and I'm delivering value for free, and I can do it programmatically. And we don't have to be a victim of the bad ideas of the past. And there's this quote that I love, that we shape our tools and thereafter our tools shape us. We are in this loop that I have Apollo, I have Zoom Info. What do I say to people? That is not the problem that we should be thinking. The thinking is like, what is the very best message that you can deliver to a customer, independent of how long it takes you to deliver that message? And then you want to reduce that cost over time. You can hire outsourcers to do this. You can hire engineers to do this. Your go-to-market can be a machine that you develop and invest in, just like you do a product, because sales, the way it is traditionally done, and the way that a lot of founders have in their head, the 2011 model, it doesn't work anymore. This whole idea that you can just mass email your market and 1 to 2% of those people are going to reply, that's not the case, especially if you're selling into tech. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there and leave enough time for question and answer. And if you want to come up and ask questions about your particular go-to-market challenge, we'll just riff right here and I'll give you some examples of how you might think about this problem.
Whoa, thank you, Jordan. That was a lot of interesting information. I'm curious, you talked about AI. How much do you think AI will be impacting this field in the future?
Dramatically. I mean, you see the problem is that a lot of the builders, the folks that know how to build AI, are building in the current model, which is totally wrong, right? They're saying, what if AI could, Massimo, what if AI could say, I see that you wear glasses. I wear glasses too. Oh my gosh, you want to buy my B2B garbage? No, that's how AI is being used today. What's much better is to say, hey, Jordan, I took a look at your form and I noticed that your form had 62 fields. Do you know that once you get past 4 fields, the drop-off rate increases by 52%? And AI can write. I mean, I literally looked at a playbook today where AI wrote like 10,000 customized sentences, like looking at this impact report, and they summarized the exact thing that I wanted, and I trained it on 10. And they were good. It was like, hey, Jordan, I noticed that you're investing in diversity at the company, but based on the numbers that you reported, it seems like you haven't made any progress in the last 10 years. Like, whoa, AI can write that sentence today.
It's crazy. I'm playing with OpenAI, and it's crazy how good it can get at writing customized text, like scraping some pages, extracting data, and generating outbound messages or whatever. And it's accessible. Like, most people think they should hire data scientists, AI people, but the reality is that in most of the scenarios, just use OpenAI, spend some time training it, and with barely little technical people, you can get amazing results.
And I think that that's the thing that people are missing about AI. The current companies that are in AI try to take no information and provide you gold. And that's the problem, is that AI is at a state right now where you have to ask the right question. So with the AI that I trained, I said, here is the exact place to look for the information. And here is the exact thing that I, a human, would say based on my reading of this information. Hey, do the same thing, AI, over and over and over again, based on this new context, looking at this exact spot. So I'm not saying, like, here's Jordan, tell me what I can say to Jordan to hack his attention. And there are a lot of tools that are doing that, but that's a race to the bottom. It's a different thing if I can reach out and say, hey, Jordan, like, I I saw that you were spending time researching this topic, and I know that you're like actively, based on your posts, like you're actively looking to solve this problem. Like, how's it coming along? And AI will soon be able to do that thing, but we need to ask better questions of AI today to get it to do the things that we really want, which is not the buyer's attention. We want to talk about the buyer's problem.
Yeah, totally agree. And I have another question. I love the approach of providing value for free as a way to to feed the funnel. That's something that in the past we tried with different strategies, different kind of value that we were providing, and it did work very well. And it's like Ryan D's description of selling as dating. So you would never go to a nice girl and tell her, "Hey, how would you name our children?" You have to first like start chatting, then asking her number. Otherwise, you enter the free zone if you are the guy that always give everything for free and never ask for.
Yeah, the way that I talk about this is a good point. Like I was walking the other day, and there was this woman that was like carrying a really heavy cooler down the stairs, and so all I had to say is, "Can I help?" Now, if I had knocked on that door 2 minutes earlier and said, "Hey, my name is Jordan. Do you have any heavy things that you need carried?" It's like, no, go away. Like, that's the craziest message ever. But while they were struggling, I'm like, "Can I help?" And she's like, "Sure." Like, great. And it was seamless. And so I think that we can get to that place, but we need to like systematically structure the questions that we ask, how we find people, and the list that we pull to be able to deliver that type of a message. And so I think that like a perfect example of how you might do this at Breadcrumbs. Even if you programmatically submitted a form request, like demo request, you might be able to tell how long it takes someone to reply and then bring that information to the VP of sales and say, "Hey, I filled out my information. My name's Armando. I'm the CEO of this company. I filled out this information to get a demo. Did you know that it took your sellers 3 days to respond? We find that by not understanding, like I'm a venture-backed company. I have funding. Like I'm the CEO. Like I should be the best lead that your reps ever have. So, like, did you know that X number of deals fall off when you leave that response time? Like, you probably should have scored me differently."
Very interesting you mentioned this. This is something we are actually testing right now. Not yet in the phase of doing it programmatically, but it's exactly what we are testing right now. And in terms of providing value upfront for free, is there some kind of value, let's call it lead magnet, that you find more effective? Is it content? Is it data? Is it free tools?
Yeah, I think that the problem we have with content is we think, "Hey, Jordan, I just wrote this 62-page thing on this garbage thing. Like, will you want to read it?" It's like, "No, I fucking don't want to read your thing. Like, no way." So like, let me talk to you about how I'm creating programmatic content. So I have a million jobs in my database, of a little more than a million that are closed, that I know are closed, that have been filled or removed. What I did is I took all that data and I matched that data to people. So I said, this job closed at this date from this company at this, and then this person started at this company with about this same title, and then marry that data set. And I'm going to spin up programmatic pages so sales reps can go on my site, and instead of prospecting by a title, they can actually prospect by a description in a job. So you want to go after the people that are responsible for contact scoring. You don't have to be like, "I'll just like spam all the demand gen." You can send a message like, "Hey, Jordan, I saw what looked to be your closed job description, and it seems like one of the things that you're responsible for is figuring out the contact scoring model at blah, blah, blah. How's that coming along?" And that's going to be free. I'm going to give you the email address. I'm going to give you the LinkedIn information. I'm going to give you the job. I'm going to give you the person. I'm even going to give you a template of what to write to that person. And I'm going to build all those sites programmatically so an SDR can spend time on that. I'm not going to charge for any of that, right? That is just an awareness play. It's just to say, I'm thinking about things to fix this problem. And that's what value looks like, I think, ahead of time. And then I can even send lists to people, say, "Yo, what's up, Breadcrumbs? Here are the people that are actually responsible for contact scoring at these companies. I thought this would be helpful to you. Like, go contact them. Bye." And then some people are going to come back and be like, hey, Jordan, this free thing that you did amazing. What would it be like if I paid you? And they're going to come back and pay me.
I'm sold. Yeah, I think ebooks, webinar, these things nowadays, there is an overload of them, and very often, yeah, we write these crazy ebooks, 20 pages long.
Yeah.
But actually, even if they read it, it just like make the times before you can reach out to them again longer. Because even if they read it, it will take them 2 weeks to read that 52 pages ebooks. I'm a big fan of code as content. Very often, I think you can build free tools to offer your prospects or to attract new leads, which very often can be cheaper than writing the 52 ebooks. And you can do product launches, you can do more marketing. It just works great.
I mean, a perfect example of this is like you guys should spin up some fake LinkedIn profiles of people at venture funded companies. And then you should create a system where you can go score. Like people can enter in that information in their lead forms as VPs of sales and see how quickly. So like a black box testing service where you're like, do you want to see how good your sales reps do? Here are like LinkedIn profiles of people at different levels of seniority with different titles. Here's all their like contact information, their emails. We registered domains, like we got them funded, like, and then, I don't know, maybe you say like I worked at a different company. But then you can say, great, this is like a free service for you to see exactly how your folks are doing. Like, do you want me to run this through our system? Like, that's what value looks like, because I'm not saying read this 52-page PDF and find out how it applies to you. What I'm saying is like, I can actually tell you, I can provide you value for you to understand your business better. And that's just a totally different approach.
Absolutely. We are at time, Jordan. Thank you so much for joining. Super interesting session. Ciao.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And for everyone else back on the main stage, we have Armando's closing notes. So adds to the main stage. And thank you for staying with me. Hopefully it was interesting. I learned a lot of interesting things from all the speakers today. Thank you so much. Bye.